Pivot of Hearts is the latest visual novel from the Brazilian indie developer Dragonroll Studio. And from the moment that the neon sprawl of São Paulo flickers across the screen, it feels profoundly professional. Instead of whisking players away to distant kingdoms or futuristic space stations, this narrative pulls you into the crowded commuter trains, cozy land cafes, and apartments where anime posters curl at the edges. But let's unpack all that in this review. Pivot of Hearts tells the story of André Wanzin, a Brazilian game developer who is currently working on a nostalgic RPG called Healing Quest. Although the project is supposed to be simple, various complications arise. Wen is struggling to fix a mysterious bug that causes a crash during a fight against Queen Slime. And if that's not enough, his life is changing in ways that he'd never expected. At work, a new artist named Kao joins the team and they soon become pretty close as they share interest in old anime and video games. Wen notices that he might nurture some feelings that go beyond friendship in this situation, and then he also reconnects with old friends through tabletop RPG sessions. We find out that he loves spending time with two high school classmates, but personal circumstances led him to cut ties with them. The situation as a whole left him with a bitter aftertaste of unfinished business. In essence, Pivot of Hearts is a story about personal growth. Wen's past relationship left deep scars on his heart. It was toxic, even though neither person was actually bad. Growing closer to Kao and Etsuko broadens his horizons and makes him reflect on his feelings. These themes are explored through inner questions. Is he bisexual? Can he be in an open relationship? Would it even be acceptable to love more than one person? He must question his ingrained values about romance, and much of the game has him reflecting on his former relationship with Nina, along with deciding what he wants for himself. The visual novel offers multiple endings based on the choices that you make, all tied to whether you change your perspective on love or stay within the boundaries of monogamy. Wen is an intriguing protagonist. He has not handled the end of his relationship in a healthy way, and time has passed, yet he has never processed what went wrong or even forgiven himself. Instead, he is buried in his feelings and non-stop work to avoid the pain. Sometimes he seems emotionally disconnected from what should be his life. The events of the game give him a little chance to live again though. His spark returns partially because of his hobbies. Wen is a nerdy programmer with an otaku streak. He loves tabletop RPGs, old anime, and MMORPGs. Although some names have been altered, these references are recognizable to Brazilian fans of nerd culture. I'd say that these elements are more than cute references. They form an organic, naturalistic picture that motivates the characters and the development team. Brazil has long been a place where multiple cultures gather and grow together. People from many countries have shaped its rich identity, and pop culture reflects this diversity. Representing a Brazilian nerd means showing how these subcultures intersect. A Taiwanese descendant who loves Japanese culture and lives in the nation's largest metropolis captures that blend to the T. The soundtrack reinforces this with variety. Popular Brazilian genres sit alongside metal in the original song, titled Stay With Me. It's a nostalgic, emotional piece sung in Japanese. Gameplay introduces a tarot card system where choices unlock only if you spend points in a suit: hearts, diamonds, spades, or clubs. Each suit represents values such as opening your heart or logically reasoning. Free choices may grant points, adding strategy, or important decisions can become unavailable, forcing a less than optimal route. Players seeking a simple relationship might dislike managing resources here though, but the system remains approachable with multiple saves and an understanding of each suit's nuances. The game introduces basic log, skip, and auto functions, yet you can't return to previous lines or skip to the next choice. There's also no gallery for CGs or music, which makes it harder to revisit unlocked content or track what you're missing. After the final choice has been made, Pivot of Hearts feels like an affectionate letter to every nerd who has ever buried heartache beneath all-night coding sessions or marathon anime binges. Its quaint moments through the narrative, paint a tender portrait of how healing often begins in shared passions. If you've ever felt your world expand because a friend cared enough to listen, or because a game soundtrack gave you the courage to speak up, Wen's journey will linger long after the credits roll for you. Noisy Pixel is giving Pivot of Hearts an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.